All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're tracing the absolutely unbelievable sequence of events in the life of just an ordinary guy named Daniel. We're talking about a man who somehow managed to take a crushing mountain of failure and literally transform it into massive self-made success. It's a journey all about resilience, strategy, and a fundamental shift in perspective that is absolutely going to change how you view closed doors. I mean, really ask yourself, what would you do if 39 different companies rejected you? 39! Would you keep going, or would you finally just decide, maybe I'm just not good enough? Most people, they'd stop applying after the 5th rejection. Maybe a few push through and make it to 10. But just imagine the sheer, crushing weight of endless rejection, the feeling of constantly being told no. It takes a very, very specific kind of strength to keep going when the entire world seems to be telling you to just stop. Act 1. The Quest for Opportunity. So Daniel was a highly relatable, everyday guy. He grew up in a small American town, his family didn't have much money, and he definitely didn't have that picture-perfect resume. No rich connections, no important people pulling strings behind the scenes to open doors for him. He was just an ordinary guy trying to build a better life, simply believing that, hey, honest, hard work would eventually lead to a solid opportunity in the business world. Growing up with very little, Daniel learned pretty early on that absolutely nothing in life was guaranteed. But his parents gave him a crucial piece of advice. And honestly, it was something way more valuable than money. His father told him, "Your situation can change, but only if you keep moving." Daniel never forgot those words. That one single phrase, that would become the anchor that carried him through his darkest, most difficult moments.
Act 2. 39 Rejections. So, with his dad's advice firmly planted in his brain, Daniel finished school and set out to build his business career. He started applying for jobs. The first company rejected him, then the second, then another, and another. He had officially entered this totally grueling phase of his life where his sincere attempts to build a career were just met with an absolute brick wall of closed doors. We've all seen these generic copy and paste emails, right? Not enough experience. We found a stronger candidate. Your background just isn't what we're looking for. It's like they all use the exact same corporate dictionary. Now initially, Daniel didn't really let them bother him. He just told himself, there's going to be another opportunity right around the corner. But as these robotic emails kept flooding his inbox, they slowly started chipping away at his confidence and, critically, his bank account. The grind was just relentless. At the first rejection, he was still optimistic. By the 10th, he was working harder, tweaking his resume, learning new skills, prepping like crazy for interviews. But by the 20th rejection, his savings were shrinking and shrinking fast. And by the 30th, well, the bills were piling up and just sitting there waiting to be paid. Every single morning, he woke up wondering, how much longer can I actually keep doing this? Despite him constantly adapting and improving, the rejections just kept piling up. Every single no made the next one so much harder to swallow.
And then came number 39. Daniel found himself sitting all alone in his small apartment at night. The room was totally quiet. Literally, the only light was coming from the computer screen right in front of him. He opened the email to find rejection number 39. And he didn't immediately close the laptop. He didn't fire off another application. He just sat there, staring at the screen. This brought him to his absolute emotional rock bottom. For the very first time, he seriously wondered if maybe everyone else was right. Maybe he wasn't good enough. Maybe he should just accept whatever life gave him. He was closer to giving up right then than ever before. Act 3. Creating his own path. In that exact moment of quiet despair, just staring at a screen that had told him no for the 39th time, his dad's words echoed in his mind. Your situation can change, but only if you keep moving. Remembering that advice sparked the single most important realization of his entire story, and it completely changed his trajectory. Instead of sitting there with that defeated question, why doesn't anyone want me? He asked a distinctly empowered question. He asked, what if I'm not failing because I'm not good enough? What if I'm simply looking in the completely wrong place? Instead of accepting defeat, he shifted his entire perspective. The very next morning, Daniel made a radical choice. He stopped applying for jobs altogether. Now, he had no investors, no massive savings, no office, and no team. He literally only had his time, his determination, and a willingness to learn. So step 1, every single morning and night, he studied business. He read books and watched educational videos just to understand what customers actually needed. Step 2, he noticed that local small businesses were really struggling to attract customers online.
So he went and approached the owners directly to offer his help. But of course, there was a catch. Nobody trusts a guy with zero track record. So step 3, he agreed to work for practically nothing. He leveraged exactly what he had to create his own opportunities from scratch, knowing this was his one big chance to prove himself.
Act 4, the $1 million lesson. Daniel's intense hustle finally landed him one small business owner who was willing to give him a chance. And Daniel worked harder than anyone expected. He figured out exactly what that business's customers wanted and vastly improved their online presence. Slowly, the results started rolling in. More people discovered the business, more customers walked through the door. The owner noticed, and Daniel finally had the one thing all those 39 job applications couldn't give him: undeniable proof of his value.
With that undeniable proof in hand, he started scaling his vision. The first business owner recommended him to another, and then another. He was gaining new clients purely through word of mouth. Now, to be clear, success didn't happen overnight. There were really tough months where clients left, projects totally failed, and very little money came in. He definitely questioned his decisions on those quiet nights. But this time, instead of running from failure, he studied it. He treated it as just a new problem to solve. Eventually, he hired his first employees, building systems to serve even more people. And when the money finally did start coming in, he didn't rush out to buy a luxury car or flashy things. He reinvested every single bit of profit straight back into the company.
And then, years later, we reached the climax of this relentless effort. One completely ordinary morning, Daniel logged into his financial account and looked at the number on the screen. For a second, he couldn't even believe it. The exact same man who couldn't get a single job offer, the guy who was rejected 39 times, now had a net worth that just crossed $1 million. His little service, started with absolutely nothing, had become a real, incredibly successful company.
But Daniel realized something profound along the way, something way more important than the money itself. Getting rich wasn't about looking successful. It wasn't about having the perfect resume just to impress some hiring manager. It was about building something genuinely valuable. It was about creating real, tangible solutions for other people's problems. So, the core takeaway of this explainer is this. Those 39 rejections, they didn't make Daniel successful. His decision after that 39th rejection did. Every single closed door just forced him to search for another one. Every failure taught him a lesson. You see, failure isn't always telling you that you aren't good enough. Sometimes it's literally just telling you that you need to change direction entirely. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If you're watching this right now and you've been rejected, if people don't believe in your idea, or if you just haven't received that opportunity you desperately want, remember Daniel. Please don't let one difficult chapter become the ending of your story. Keep learning, keep improving, keep moving forward. Because what if the very rejection you're mourning right now is actually the key that forces you to build your own door?